Yo, what's up, guys? Here with YGO Casual Crew and Zeph, our king of throw decks. Let's get right into it. What are you profiling for us?
Today I'm profiling my Duston or my Duston deck profile. It's just I like the art, so I just figured to put it together, make it the best as possible.
All right, let's see.
For most, you play monsters in the deck, about 20. First monster, 3 Duston. This monster is like your boss monster. You spam your board full of Duston monsters, you tribute them, then this card gets 1000 attack for and defense for every Duston you tributed, and your opponent cannot activate set cards, nor he can special summon or flip summon. So a lot of people were really surprised that nobody really knew this card, and it's also it's very good. You just play 3 House Dustin. Yeah, for the people who don't know, this is the main card. What you do, you summon it, you run into your opponent, and then you get to special summon Dustin monsters on your field and your opponent's side of the field. So you cannot exceed synchro or fusion summon, or they don't have any space on their board. The main monsters of the deck, what's it all about? Red Dustin, Green Dustin, Blue Dustin, and Yellow Dustin. These monsters are designed in a way you summon them, and then when they get destroyed, they have a side effect. So this one will burn you or your opponent for 500 damage. This one makes you the one that controlled it bounce a back row back to their hand, banishes a card from your hand till the next standby phase, and this one shuffles cards from your grave back into your deck. So this one I mostly use for myself to destroy it, so I can recycle my Dustin or House Dustin. You play 1 White Dustin, white power, white people.
The proudest of them all.
If you are running out of Dustin monsters, this is just an extra Dustin monster without any side effects. So you can also cut it if you, depends on your playstyle. But I like to play it. I need it most of the time. Then for other monsters, I play 1 Eater of Millions. I think everyone knows what this card does. You banish 5 cards face down. You can special summon this card and just swing into your opponent. It's just good. And you can play with War Arvdal.
Fucking annoying.
You run a level 1 engine anyway, so I just thought I'd take this card in. Next, 3 Stygian Security. Shining Angel of the deck. Your opponent or you destroys it, you can special summon level 1 Fiend monster from your deck. 3 Goblin King. The OTK card of the deck. It gets 1000 attack for every Fiend type monster on the field. So what you do, you summon this card, you summon this card, and this card. You swing into your opponent with this. So you get to special summon 4 monsters on your side of the field and 4 monsters on your opponent's side of the field. And then this card will be 8000, and then you can swing for game. That was it for all the monster cards.
How many monsters you play?
22 monsters. If you cut the White Dustin, 21.
Do not cut him, he's the best.
He's the proudest of them all. Then spell cards. 3 creature swap.
This thing.
This card is so freaking good because when your opponent,
I hate this card. I fucking hate it.
if your opponent needs to do a lot of effort to make only one boss monster and they cannot summon other monsters, you just summon a Duston monster. Then you creature swap it with your opponent, so you get the boss monster and they get a useless piece, a Dustin, useless piece of shit. Also, if your opponent is able to summon a monster beside their boss monster, just add Eater of Millions, attack first, banish the useless one, summon a Dustin, creature swap for their boss monster, and then you have an Eater of Millions and their boss monster. Now, 3 War Arvdao, like I already told you guys, level 1 engine. So with this, to summon a monster, you can add Stardust, and you can add Eater of Millions or add Goblin King, any one of your win conditions. I also play 2 Allure of Darkness. The entire deck exists of different attributes, but I found that most of the attributes I play are dark monsters. So I try to tag this card in, and it actually works pretty well. 3 Desires. First I thought, what if I banish all my Dustin monsters? Then I can spam my opponent's board and my own board full of Dustin monsters, so I can swing with Goblin King. But then again, I can also just summon Stardust or Eater of Millions and use that as my win condition. So I figured that it isn't really bad banishing some Dustin monsters if you, in this build at least. To double summon, just you gotta play this card. You have a Goblin King and a House Dustin in your hand. Play this card, you can normal summon both, and then you can OTK. Just the old school OTK. 1 Foolish Burial of Goods. I play this card just to send my trap card to the grave, which I will show you in a moment. 1 1-for-1, level 1 engine, Monster Reborn, basic shit. 1 Dark Hole. The problem with this deck is if your opponent plays a spam deck, then you can't spam your opponent's board with Dustin monsters. So with this you clear the entire field. Your opponent needs to start over again, and then you have the chance to spam their board. That was it for spells. For traps I only play 2 trap cards, 2 copies of Diamond Dustin. What this card does, when a card is destroyed on the field or more cards are destroyed on the field, you can play this card and special summon Dustin monsters from your deck to either side of the field, whichever you want. So you can, with that you can spam your opponent's board and your own board again. And in the graveyard, each copy can once per turn banish a Dustin monster from your grave, and then special summon the trap card as a monster on the field, either on your opponent's or on your own field. So, for example, you have this in your grave. Your opponent has like 4 main monster slots, and then you special summon this card, so they can't use their 5th monster slot. So, It's just an extra Dustin monster in the graveyard. Yeah, that was my Dustin deck profile. I don't play an extra deck. You can play an extra deck, which I recommend. Just 15 random cards I play.
Just for Eater of Millions.
But you can also play Link monsters, because with the Dustin monsters you can't exceed summon, single summon, or fusion summon, but you are allowed to Link summon though. So you can play Borreload, or some cards can exceed into Lionheart or Ghost Trick Doodalon. But yeah, that's my okay. That's my Dustin deck profile.
Yes. Later guys, another fun casual deck profile. Go check out our other videos and do not forget to like and subscribe. Peace.